businesses. It always throws me off.
I don't even know where you would get that from other than you haven't been out of the boroughs your entire life.
Pretty much.
And let me also say this. I would head to any of these places before I'd go to one Chili's. You know what I mean? If I'm on the road, this is exactly where I want to go in. I don't want to go into a chain restaurant where I'm like, at least I know what I'm going to get. Yeah, boredom. That's what you're going to get. Monotony. That's what you're after.
Drink here,
All
not
right,
Bennigan's.
Yes. Well, Bennigan's is gone, I believe.
Oh, no.
Yeah, sorry to hear that. Yeah. That they didn't make it. I don't even think they made it into the millennium. I don't know exactly when they went down, but they haven't been around a while. All right, Chris, do the plug and let's go into this.
Here is Jared, and you can follow him at Wisco Dive Bar Reviews on TikTok.
Jared, good to see you, buddy.
Hey, Jared.
Yeah, good to see you guys too, Ron, Gail, the whole crew there.
All right, here's what I love about your TikTok. First of all, you're taking us to a world that I didn't even know existed. I'm going to be totally honest. What is a dive bar in Wisconsin is not a dive bar in Brooklyn. And that's why I think that this TikTok that you have is like brilliant to keep it focused on one piece of the culture there.
Yeah, it's honestly, some of these places I didn't even know existed either. I'm going to places that I've never been. Some of them I have been. Some of them aren't necessarily what we consider dive bars in Wisconsin. It's just kind of turned into my followers telling me where to go. And I legitimately write them down and make a map and take off and let's see where I end up. So
do you end up meeting people at these bars? Do you end up meeting people and...
Oh yeah, that's the best part. Like it's so much fun for me, as fun as it is, for everybody to see my stuff. Being able to go there and meet the locals, the owners. It's been so crazy. I've met so many awesome people and they absolutely love what I'm doing here. And people make my TikTok account out like it's about me. And I'm not the star of my TikTok account at all. These bars are the stars. And I'm just glad I'm able to go out and do a little promo for them and give them insane amount of exposure. I started this account 6 weeks ago last Friday. So
that's great.
That's awesome.
So, I think I woke up this morning with 28,500 followers. I think I looked here 15 minutes ago. I'm at 29.6 now. So it's crazy. It's crazy. And so many of these people that you see in these bars, they're the nicest people in the world. I'm 44. And like you guys mentioned, a couple of weeks ago, I'm like 20 years younger than a lot of these people in the bars, which is the case. But like, this is their livelihood. That's their social media. These people really probably don't have Facebook. They don't have Instagram. They probably don't even know what the hell TikTok is. But when I always go into a place, I never go into a place and take video or pictures without letting people know what I'm doing beforehand. I don't want to be the guy that comes in, nobody's ever seen me before. It looks like I'm casing the place out, which is not what I'm doing at all. So, and now it's gotten to the point where when I walk into these places, I'm recognized more times than not. So yeah, it's pretty wild. And, like even Saturday, I went to a place and I can't believe I've never been there. It's only maybe an hour away from my house, but turns out this place was a 104-year-old schoolhouse and it was transitioned into a bar. It's called the Hideaway. It's actually the last one that I posted, the most recent one I posted last night on my TikTok. And the owners were fantastic. I didn't meet the husband. He was busy shooting in a pool tournament. But I met his wife, Becky, and she was fantastic. She loved what I'm doing. She's so thankful for, me being able to give them exposure. And there was a lady there. She was, I don't know, forgive me if she's listening, but I'd say she's probably like 70. She actually went to school there. And just to hear the stories, I go in and some places I just have one beer. Sometimes I'll have a couple and I'll, grab something to eat and talk to the locals. That's the best part. These people are amazing. And some of like this bar in particular is out in the middle of nowhere, out on a county road and a, gravel road, I think. Some of these bars are in towns of 15,000 people. Some are towns of 50 people. And I think what a lot of people, I don't expect anybody in New York or Brooklyn, wherever, anywhere really, other than Wisconsin, to understand what's really going on here, because this is wild. Like what we have going on in Wisconsin is wild, and it's everybody has that concept, that we just wake up, go to the bar, get drunk, and try to get home. Some people, maybe that's the case, but these bars pump so much money into the community. The fundraisers and stuff that they do, if there's ever a fundraiser that a town or a school or something is doing, a lot of the places, first place they run to are these bars. It's insane. Like I was at a bar this past Friday in a small town of Shell Lake, and I was at Klopp's Fifth Avenue Bar. Went in there. It's a third generation bar. The owner's grandpa started it up, and her parents owned it. Now she owns it, and just the nicest person you could ever meet. And she told me that they had a fundraiser for the school. I don't remember exactly when she said it was, maybe sometime recently. And their deal there, they have amazing pizzas, and they made 500 pizzas for the school. And stuff like that. It's so important. And so many of these small towns and all over the place, you see businesses that are crumbling, small businesses especially. And that was even pre-COVID. COVID made things even more wild. But a lot of these small towns in Wisconsin, the longest running businesses in those towns are these bars and taverns and hole in the wall places, and they survive. Some of them haven't, but a majority of them have, and it's so much fun to be able to to give back a little bit, because I look at it as I'm giving them exposure, and because I give them exposure, it brings them more business. And because they get more business, they can give back more to the community, which it's a win-win-win for everybody. Pretty wild. And then I have you guys talking about me, like how in the world?
Well, give us an idea here. How far away are you from, let's say, Madison, Wisconsin? What are you looking at? I'm northwest of Madison. I'm in western Wisconsin. I'm like an hour. I can be in downtown Minneapolis in an hour. I live straight east of Minneapolis, about an hour. Probably 4.5 hours from Madison. All right. So you're literally closer to Minneapolis, to Minnesota. So that, right. Does this same kind of bar culture go through Minnesota as well? Is this...
I think it does to a certain extent, but Wisconsin's different. It's
right.
It's weird. Like when I'm doing these videos, and even like my own personal account that has kind of been kicked to the curb with all of this. Like I have over 18,000 followers on my personal TikTok, but that's kind of all just, me goofing off, screwing around, making funny videos, whatever. And I kind of built up a Wisconsin base there. I'll hashtag things Wisconsin, stuff about the weather, because people in Wisconsin, we rally together. Like we're pretty close. You have, not everybody is super friendly, but I would say, for the most part. So I built up a pretty good Wisconsin base on my own personal TikTok. And then, this was a TikTok that started on my own personal TikTok account. And then I was like, well, the next day I was like, what if, and then I posted the first one, and the first one is way different than what they have become. Like it was just a 25 second video of me pulling up to this tiny little town in the middle of nowhere, like 4 miles south of where I live, Langer's Bar, which there's probably 5,000 people in the world that know this place exists. And I think the last I saw, that video has 550,000 views. So I was like, I was like, time out. Like, what is going on here? I might be onto something. So I just ran with it. And it blows my mind. I can't even fathom, where I'm at with this thing. And I think it's only going
to out, Gail. What do you think works here? I mean, for me, it's almost like a vacation feeling just to watch one of his videos. You know what I mean? It's like as far away from our kind of world, and you can almost imagine yourself there.
Yeah, I mean, for me, watching it was just so fascinating what a different look and feel a dive bar in your area has. I mean, New York has tons of dive bars. I'm in Brooklyn, and there's, really great dive bars, but like it's a very, very different look. So you're dealing with, a lot of brick, a lot of stone, Christmas lights year round, very dark. But there is like that one thing that's kind of universal is that there's got to be a bunch of old guys at the bar who make you feel like you shouldn't be in that bar. Like you're like, oh, this is their space. I always felt weird. I never liked rolling up to a dive bar, especially like one that I like to visit with a large group of younger people. You want to be a small group. You want to be like quiet in the corner. You don't want to like take over their world because, they have things set up the way they like it and they have their own set of rules. But it was amazing to see how different it's just a very different look than we're used to seeing here.
Yeah, it's definitely, I would say, slow paced, which is good. Like I said, I mean, I'm an hour from Minneapolis. If I want chaos, I'm only an hour away, not that it's a bad type of chaos, but it's just a lot faster lifestyle. And definitely, like you said, a lot of these people in these bars, that's their comfort zone. And luckily, I guess I'm kind of an old soul. Like I said, I'm 44, but I just have this thing where I respect people and they give it right back. And I kind of pride myself knowing that every bar that I've been to so far, I honestly don't think that there's anybody that could say anything negative about anything that I've done or said when I go into these places. Like I love to soak up the history of places and hear the stories. And it's a learning experience for me. And I'm glad that my stupid, crazy idea turned into this, and I'm able to make a difference, I guess, a little bit.
Well, it kind of like the clientele wise reminds me of Ireland. You know what I mean? Where there's different generations and everybody would know each other in the town. It's not like, I'm going to guess there's no one selling Coke anywhere in one of these bars.
Are we talking the liquid or the powder?
Powder.
Because they do put the liquid in the alcohol, but as far as the powder goes, I don't know if that's being sold or not. There's been a few times. I mean, I've done a lot of these places by myself, and I'm not a big person. I'm like 5'4", 150 pounds. So, I mean, if somebody wants to bounce me, they can, but there's been a couple places that have been a little bit intimidating, but then I go inside and it's like, these guys are a bunch of teddy bears, you go in and you respect them and they're going to respect you. I'd like to think that that's the way all places are, but there's just so much negativity in the world right now. And I'm glad if, you watch a 45-second video of me, it takes your mind off of what's going on. I mean, whether it's here or, what's going on overseas, it's pretty disturbing and it's sad, but if I can give everybody that little mental break for 45 seconds or a minute.
Yeah. There's no doubt. There's a, kind of a Mayberry thing that takes place where you go, oh man, what if I did live in a small town and I knew everybody? And you know what I mean?
Right.
It is like a little vacation there. Here's what surprised us too, Jarrett. We're not used to bars being so lit up. You know what I mean? Like
so bright.
Bars are dark. So if you go in the daytime, you can't see once you get inside.
Right.
And then you spend the rest of the time laughing at other people coming in the door, being blinded.
Right.
You a lot of light.
Yeah. Some of them are really bright. And I guess I didn't notice it until my followers would comment on it and really point it out. And I think one of the things is that my iPhone does make it look a little bit brighter than it is. But yeah, I mean, my iPhone's not going to hide a drop down ceiling that, looks like an old elementary school classroom from back in the 70s. So
also a lot of TVs
Yeah.
in there. And the games are what? Are we looking at slots or what's happening with all
Yeah, actually, and that was one of the things that was mentioned too, when you guys were talking about me earlier a couple weeks ago. Yeah, those are actually slot machines. They're video machines that pay out from behind the bar. In Wisconsin, it's legal for bars to have 5. So as long as you have 5, and it's crazy the amount of money that they bring in.
Oh, of course.
So,
yeah. Chris, that would be your area, I imagine, right?
I would love it if there was just 5 slots in any bar I walked to here in New York City. I would just be broker than I already am. I'd love it. I'd be addicted. I would need the action.
Well, and so I went to a place on Saturday that I haven't posted the TikTok yet, because the way I do it, TikTok has a weird algorithm where it's not like Facebook. I can't just shove them all on at one time. And so I try to, like maybe every night I'll post, or every other night I'll post. It seems to be, 5 to 7 p.m. seems to be the best time to post. It seems when you get the most views. And obviously I want these videos to get as many views as possible. And I went to this place. I can't believe it felt like I got time warped back into 1972 before I was even born. This bar was in the middle of nowhere and was a half convenience store, half bar. So, I mean, blown away. And the stuff on these shelves, there was guys at the bar just going over the shelf, grabbing a can of sardines and eating sardines, and they called it their Friday fish fries. I was blown away, but definite dive as far as on a scale of 1 to 10 on a dive bar, it was a 13. But I mean, the locals were fantastic. The bartender was fantastic. Once again, a family owned place. And you guys mentioned a couple weeks ago how it doesn't look like these places put much money back into their bars. Well, you wait till you see this one.
Yeah.
Unbelievable.
Now, I have a question about music. What typically are you hearing music, jukeboxes? Because for us, a jukebox is pretty typical for a dive bar in Brooklyn. I can think of one exception with Farrell's in Windsor Terrace that has just an eerie silence when you walk in. But you only hear the necks of the men sitting at the bar turning to look at you. And that's all you hear when you walk in. But most dive bars here have a very old jukebox or a great jukebox. Is that typical or no?
In Wisconsin, it's most bars have really new jukeboxes that are connected to the internet and can play numerous songs. But sometimes I'll go into a bar and I'll hear Conway Twitty, or the next bar it'll be Iron Maiden. It's like, all right, like and then it's all over the place. And I mean, I would say 80% of the time the jukebox is going with something, unless there's a Badger basketball game on or a Packer game on. Everybody's kind of tuned into that. So, but it is.
It's for the Packers there. Everything in the state.
On my side of the state, there are a lot of Viking fans on this side of the state.
Mm-hmm.
But it's crazy the following that the Packers do have. Like, the world stops when the Packers are on. And it's like, well, if I'm going to run to Walmart, I'll do it during the Packer game because there's nobody there, So, Packers or Badgers. I mean, football or basketball, the Badgers are, they've been, really good over the last decade or more.
Sure.
So, it's definitely a big thing is, the Packer lights and signs and everything else that you see. It's definitely everybody's go-to, and people love to go to the bar, and there's always drink specials during Packer games. And I think that's another thing too, that blows people away. Like some of these places, a can of beer is $2, anywhere from $1.50 to $2.50.
God damn.
Yeah.
Paying $8 in a bar for a pint.
What are you paying? $8?
$8 for a pint of beer. I feel like an idiot.
Wow.
You're throwing your life away.
Yeah.
It's awful.
Yeah. Where are you drinking beer at? MetLife Stadium? Like, man.
That's 14. That's 14.
Yeah. It's pretty insane. And, I guess if you sell 5,000 of them, I guess you're making money, right? So, a lot of these places have great food too. I mean, just great burgers or pizza or fish or, whatever it is. They all seem to have their little niche. And, there's like my small town. I mean, I graduated from town of Spring Valley back in 95, and it's a town of like 1,300 people. And there's 3 bars in that town, which is pretty typical. And the one bar is kind of my go-to, and it has been for a long time, in and out, but the Spillway down in Spring Valley. And it was Bill's bar for years and years and years and years. And some friends of mine, Tony and Angie, bought it a few years ago, and they painted it up and made it brighter, and they changed the name. And I'm like, whoa, like, I don't know if that's a good thing. And man, I mean, they were right. Like it's, it really added a lot to the bar. The bar is always busy, it seems like. And, I know most of the bartenders and these owners around all of these bars are such great people. And it's just so nice to see them succeeding, because we did shut down for 60 days when COVID first hit. And it was now what? Like now what the hell am I going to do? And I typically don't go to the bars during the week. I mean, I get up early for work. I'm usually up by 4:30. And so it's kind of an every other weekend thing for me. I have my youngest daughter is she'll be 11 in May. So I have her half of the time. And, being a dad always comes first. And I just do this craziness on my little bit of spare time that I do have.
Well, I mean, you definitely have something, dude. I mean, there's something about this that you stumbled into working. Do you have any goals with it? Are you thinking like this could be a documentary or something to put to the Food Network? Because believe me when I tell you, it's weirdly hypnotic to watch your show. It really
it's
stressful.
I guess I don't have any. I'm kind of taking it one day at a time, but I do have merch coming. That's one thing, because everything, the gas money, the beer money, everything it comes right out of my pocket. So it's, if I can start selling, merchandise, and I'm not computer savvy enough to do all this stuff myself. So I have to get some people hired, whatever, to get me a website up and running and get some merch coming. And that's how I'm going to be able to make money. And it's, I'm lucky enough where I have a couple guys that one's, I guess, more of an acquaintance who I've known for maybe like 5 years, where he had a Snapchat account and went crazy with it, a public Snapchat account. And CPS Dave is his name. And he quit his job. He sells merch. He comes up with fantastic ideas for merch. And I mean, if he can do it, like, he's kind of an inspiration, for me. And
all of
even
all of us.
Yeah. Yeah. Right. Like, it's crazy. And, so many times in my life, I thought, why didn't I think of that? Well, sure. I might be that. Why didn't I think of that guy? I think a lot of people might be, saying this about me. And I see people that try to blaze their own trail. And like my buddy Travis, AKA Dirty Prescott Kids, like, he's a singer. He's been doing music for 12, 13 years. And when I first started putting these videos out, I would put his song on it, because he has a song about drinking about Wisconsin. It's called The Anthem. And like, his music's available on all music formats or whatever. But I thought this was cool. This is a way for me to pump him, because I think that he supports what I'm doing, and it's cool for me to support him. I mean, he's a small business as well. So, so it's fun to be able to rep him. And, I didn't want to throw his song on every single video, because I know how boring it gets to hear the same song over and over, like most radio stations. And, so I try to mix in his, every once in a while and help him out. And sometimes I get these bars, like the old schoolhouse, that I did the Trons Hideawhile when I was there Saturday, and I posted last night. I'm like, it's an old school. So like I have to throw Van Halen Hot for Teacher for the song, right?
So it's all working. I saw a documentary years ago about Wisconsin supper clubs, which I'd never heard about before. They were kind of a high-end thing in the 50s and 60s, right?
Okay.
So I guess it was about the summer living, like lake living, that people will go and do. So I really do think there's some kind of a vibe that you're into that this thing could really move for a while.
Yeah, it is. For the most part, I mean, the cities are pretty small. I mean, Milwaukee and Madison, and I mean, Green Bay is not even really that big. But for the most part, there's small communities and people rally together. It's awesome. I mean, I love it. I love being part of it. As crazy as it looks, on my TikTok, it is a comforting feeling to know that, every time you walk into these bars, you just hear the Cheers theme song playing in your head,
Yeah, right. I also always love the shot that you do across the street before you get there too. You just get that nice shot.
Yeah. And that's something I didn't always do at the beginning. And I thought,
right.
Kind of my little promo and, and then my map at the end where I show it, I'm like, well, I'm going to zoom in so people can see where it's at. And like, I do that for two reasons. One, so people can see where I'm at. And two, sometimes so I can figure out where the hell I'm at, because I'm sometimes if I'm way out in the middle, I don't.
Where we can find you.
Yeah.
Hey, when you're talking fish, is it fresh fish from Wisconsin? Is it lake fish?
For the most part, it's cod. So I don't know how much it is. So, but hey, some places do panfish like sunfish and, bluegills and stuff that are caught in lakes around here. I don't know where they come from exactly. I suppose they have to come from a distributor. You can't just go catch fish and serve it to people. The FDA won't allow that.
But in the summer, do these towns fill up more with vacation?
Oh yeah.
people?
Yeah. And that's one thing, some of these bars do look kind of depressing. I mean, it's been below zero for the last 4 freaking months. So what do you think? That or not, And people do get that, kind of that winter, depression, I guess. Some people snowmobile, some people don't. I mean, I don't personally, but yeah, in the summer, and I'm still going to be doing this in the summer, so you guys can, you'll be able to see.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to that. Yeah, I'm really
cool.
seriously looking forward to seeing how the vibe changes in the summer. Chris, maybe you could do something on the crack houses of Astoria, Queens. Maybe there's a scene there. They're all a little different. They're all.
Do they liven up in the summer too? Or I don't know.
Yeah, summertime. It's on the roof. That's the exciting thing there. It's a lot of roof parties.
I'll check with them first before I record.
Yeah, it is. Wisconsin it's definitely unique, and there's actually something called the Wisconsin Tavern League, and I did a little research on it because I know just a titch about it, but it was established back in 1935, and a lot of these bars belong to it, and it's just a giant basically fundraiser that they do. They do so many fundraisers, and they actually have a program called the Safe Rides program.
Right.
And I was reading that just in 2020 and 2021 alone, they gave over 42,000 free rides home to people that were at the bar that thought maybe they had drank a little bit too much. So, and it's over 1 million total that they, safe rides that they've, given since they've been established. So it's not just a free for all. I mean, there are things out there that, people can do to
well, you
get
said
home if they have.
These places are community centers. It's a place to see people who are your neighbors, but a lot of them live 10 miles away. So where are you going to meet up with each other? I think it's super, super cool. And do you guys, are you sick of Aaron Rodgers acting like he doesn't know whether he wants to stay or go?
Yeah. That guy.
Yeah.
I wish my TikTok account got as much attention as he did.
Yeah, he gets plenty.
Yeah, I think a lot of us are. I mean, last summer, it got was kind of the same thing, and everybody kind of was sick of him. And I'm not a Packer fan, I'll tell you that, but yeah, I'm a fan of the league, I guess. When it doesn't look like it's bought off, but yeah, I think as a whole, I think everybody in the States just kind of fed up with him, and he's a great player. There's no question. He's one of the greatest quarterbacks ever. But,
Well, dude, we got you. We appreciate you, and we're looking forward to it. And I hope we can get you back on here again, because I think it's been going for a while.
Yeah, no, I totally appreciate it, you guys. I can't thank you enough for stumbling across this craziness that I have, and even let's see how much I grow now. So, yeah, we'll definitely keep in touch, and hopefully things will branch out from here, and maybe I'll get contacted by some people and maybe take things at a whole new level. So we'll see.
All right, big plug, Chris.
You can follow Jared on TikTok at Wisco Dive Bar Reviews. That's at Wisco Dive Bar Reviews on TikTok.
All right, buddy. We'll see you soon. Okay.
Thanks,
care.
Jared.
Thank you, guys. Have a great day.
All right. Peace.
Take care.
I'm from Wisconsin, the undisputed king. Whether drinking or football, we earn the rings. I'm from Wisconsin, place gets cold as fuck. You better toss them snow tires on your truck. I'm from Wisconsin, yeah, we're known to drink. Ripping donuts in the lot like a frozen rink. I'm from Wisconsin, ain't nobody moving here. What you got against beer, cheese, and shooting deer? I'm from Wisconsin, welcome to the frozen tundra, where every single cat that I know's a bunch of crazy song bitches. Mix a whiskey for the road. Packers playing 20 minutes, wouldn't miss it. Gotta go, gotta visit when it's cold. People raging in the snow, catching dinner through the ice. This is everyday life, and I've been everywhere twice. Tell you nothing can compare. Most these places just suck, kinda like the Bears. People stare everywhere we go, make our points clear. Guess it isn't very normal when you crush a dozen beers. Then you ask about the shots, and they ask if you can walk, so you do a fucking backflip. Wisconsin is the damn. Yeah, you're right, lot of fun. Every person's got a gun. Summer only lasts a couple months, it's not a lot of sun. So we try and make the best of it and crack an old meal. If you're hungry, got some venison, I'll slap it on the grill. I'm from Wisconsin, chilling out in Stevens Point. About to find out which city rolls the meanest joint. I'm from Wisconsin, Ashland to Racine, Green Bay all day, staying gold and green. I'm from Wisconsin, yeah, Milwaukee's lit. Kind of place you get bucked if you're talking shit. I'm from Wisconsin, Jellystoned in the Dells, ripping round in a golf cart, drunk as hell. I'm from Wisconsin. A lot of colleges, whooped a lot of ass. Only problem, I was not a student, never went to.
We'll be right back. This is Faction Talk 103, the Bennington Show.